at this hour on VTV News. Streamlining political system is an unprecedented revolution. And poverty reduction goals at risk due to climate change. In our world news, Syria faces rising tensions.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyen Tan with the top stories. On Monday afternoon, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm and the National Assembly deputies from Hưng Yên Province met with voters in Hưng Yên City to report on the outcomes of the 8th session of the 15th National Assembly. More to follow.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm said the meeting with voters was to provide updates on completed work and progress on previous petitions. He noted 3 key tasks, including achieving a double-digit growth rate, preparing for the party congress at all levels, and streamlining the political system.
I support streamlining the apparatus. Will provincial and city agencies' apparatus be adjusted?
Central agencies will streamline first, followed by provinces and districts. If the central government lacks ministries, provinces can't have departments. The Central Party Committee, National Assembly, Government, and Fatherland Front will lead the process, with lower levels following.
I recommend that the party, National Assembly, and government involve the people more in the fight against corruption, wastefulness, and negativity.
We call on the people to keep monitoring, as they are fully aware of the details. Government agencies must listen. People should play their part in combating wastefulness, beginning within each family.
I propose that the National Assembly and government select suitable technologies and solutions to ensure the safety of Vietnam's nuclear power plants.
People's safety is the top priority. We must choose the safest, most advanced, and most cost-effective technology. Safety must be ensured when nuclear power is needed due to electricity shortages.
On the same day, the party chief visited and gifted Mai Văn Vĩnh, a 73-year-old war invalid with 81% disability, and Bùi Thị Kiêng, an 84-year-old from a low-income household who has worked hard to improve her life.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, who also presides over the Coordinating Council for the Southeast region, chaired the 5th Council meeting on December 2nd in the southern province of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. The Prime Minister highlighted the Southeast region's role in the country's overall development, urging leaders of all regional localities to evaluate results, identify key tasks, and propose solutions, particularly for achieving a double-digit GDP growth, or at least 8% in the coming years. Now, the meeting's agenda includes evaluating the Southeast region's socio-economic conditions, industrial development, export-driving solutions, development of high-quality human resources in high-tech sectors, urban and rural planning, and improvement of regional infrastructure for sustainable urbanization. The Council will also examine the progress of key regional projects, including the Ho Chi Minh City Beltway 4 road construction, inter-regional infrastructure development, and the implementation of key projects in the region. National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn met with Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong on December 2nd during his official visit to Singapore. Reflecting on over 5 decades of diplomatic ties and a decade of strategic partnership, the leaders affirmed the continuous development of Vietnam-Singapore ties, marked by major milestones across various areas. They had strengthened political trust through the regular exchange of high-ranking delegations and vowed to continue working closely to lift bilateral ties to a new height. The national leaders expressed satisfaction with the robust economic collaboration, especially Singapore's position as Vietnam's second-largest foreign investor, with over 3,800 projects worth over $81 billion. A network of 18 Vietnam-Singapore industrial parks VSIPs across 13 Vietnamese cities and provinces has become a hallmark of their successful economic cooperation. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn also suggested that the Singaporean government continue supporting Vietnamese businesses, investors, and the around 25,000 Vietnamese people living, working, and studying in Singapore, contributing to its socio-economic development. The host expressed his belief that the visit would set key orientations for consolidating bilateral ties in the near future. He shared his plan to visit Vietnam next year and extended his invitation to Party General Secretary Tô Lâm to visit Singapore at a convenient time. National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn held talks with Lee Ark Boon, CEO of Singapore's Sembcorp Development and chairman of VSIP Group, on December 2nd as part of the top legislator's ongoing official visit to Singapore. The Vietnamese National Assembly had held Sembcorp's investment in 18 Vietnam-Singapore Industrial Park VSIP projects across 13 provinces and cities, creating over 300,000 jobs in Vietnam. He described the VSIP project as an exemplary model, combining modern infrastructure development with effective foreign investment attraction. And for his part, Lee said that Sembcorp has been operating in Vietnam for 28 years and that VSIP has become a symbol of successful cooperation between Singapore and Vietnam. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn also met with Wee Ee Chong, Deputy Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of UOB, one of the world's top banks. Hailing the bank's investment in the Vietnamese market since 1993, National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn said that the country prioritizes the development of green finance, high technology, renewable energy, and green energy. Indeed, it always stands ready to create favorable conditions for foreign businesses, including UOB, to expand their investment activities in these sectors. And for his part, Chong emphasized that Vietnam represents one of the top markets where UOB seeks to establish long-term ties and investment relationships. As the only Singaporean bank operating in the Vietnamese market, UOB aims to increase its presence further by opening a branch in Ho Chi Minh City, one of Vietnam's future international financial hubs. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm has stressed that the continued reform and restructuring of the political system's organizational apparatus are critical and urgent, as time does not wait. The Politburo has outlined proposals and directions to create a strong, efficient, and effective system.
The Politburo has outlined the reduction of 4 party agencies under the Party Central Committee, 25 party committees, 16 party organizations and unions directly under the Central Committee, 5 ministries, 2 government agencies, 4 National Assembly committees, and 1 agency under the National Assembly Standing Committee. This plan marks the most extensive restructuring of the apparatus to date.
The implementation will face challenges and resistance in several units, but it must move forward. It's like a healthy body requiring bitter medicine or the pain of tumor surgery.
The party chief considers this an urgent issue, believing that swift action will benefit the people and the country despite the challenges it poses to individuals and organizations.
Reorganizing the apparatus will streamline the payroll, affecting some party members and leaders. Party committees and leaders must quickly develop a clear plan to help everyone understand that supporting the streamlining process is essential for the common good.
This is a crucial task. We need a strong policy framework that enables officials to be proactive and builds consensus to drive the political system's organizational revolution.
Streamlining the political system's apparatus is vital to significantly improve its efficiency. To ensure the success of this revolution, it is crucial that leaders and heads of party committees lead by example, take initiative, and remain resolute in fulfilling their duties.
The end of the year is typically a peak business season, driven by a surge in consumer and production demand. With interest rates remaining stable and relatively low, both businesses and banks are capitalizing on this period to boost borrowing and lending.
With year-end appliance sales expected to spike, this company is considering borrowing more capital to import goods as lending rates are favorable.
Interest rates have risen slightly from 5.8% to 6%, to 6% to 6.5% this year. Despite this, businesses are still considering taking out more loans due to weak domestic demand.
At year-end, businesses ramp up production and trade for Christmas and New Year, driving a sharp increase in working capital needs. As a result, many banks are considering granting additional credit limits to meet demand.
If the credit ceiling is increased by 2 to 3%, we can provide the economy with an additional 78 to 118 million USD.
As consumption rises, there will be more room for credit growth. Manufacturers and large enterprises drive significant loan demand, providing banks with opportunities to increase credit.
At year-end, several banks raised deposit rates for long-term deposits by 0.1 to 0.5%, while lending rates remain stable. With only 11% of the annual credit target disbursed, a significant amount remains to meet the year's 14 to 15% credit growth goal.
The sustainable management of fisheries has become a pressing concern. Numerous measures have been undertaken by regulatory authorities to collaborate with fishermen in addressing the immediate challenges they face. In recent years, fishermen have embraced automated technology, including deck loading systems and UFB nanotechnology for seafood preservation. These advancements have reduced physical labor, cut costs, and increased the value of their fishing operations. Many fishermen have also shown greater commitment to responsible fishing practices, improving traceability and helping remove the IUU yellow card.
Under EU regulations, operations are more convenient. Wherever I go, there is someone monitoring and managing me, so I feel more secure than I did in the past.
Educating fishermen about sustainable fishing practices is essential. In Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province, border guard officers provide guidance before each fishing trip, ensuring vessel owners and crew members understand and comply with IUU fishing regulations.
The border guards always remind us that encroaching on foreign waters is strictly prohibited by the government.
The collaboration between regulatory agencies to help fishermen obtain registration certificates has significantly contributed to efforts to remove the IUU yellow card.
Currently, we have completed all the necessary documentation and are now coordinating with provincial authorities as well as the one-stop service center to follow the procedures for registering fishing vessels.
We are currently implementing a rolling process, having conducted technical inspections on over 1,200 vessels. Our team is focused on completing the remaining steps to issue registration certificates to fishermen in line with the set timeline.
The European Commission inspection team plans to conduct on-site inspections to evaluate the possibility of lifting Vietnam's IUU yellow card status for the 5th time. Removing this warning would not only boost Vietnam's seafood reputation, but also drive the sustainable development of the nation's fisheries sector. Coming up next on VTV News. We take a look at Bắc Giang's efforts to eliminate temporary housing. And poverty reduction goals at risk due to climate change. Welcome back to VTV News. Bắc Province aims to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses for poor and near-poor households by providing land and using socialized resources instead of the budget. And with the mottos, everyone contributes and people helping people, the province has found creative ways to gather resources and address emerging issues.
The lack of residential land or proper documentation is a barrier for 12 poor households with temporary homes. To overcome this hurdle, Yen Tay District has tasked officials with encouraging the community to donate land and shortening the administrative procedures from 15 days to 3 to 5 days.
We review each case, prepare the necessary documents, and issue land use certificates. These 12 households have begun construction.
With a land use certificate and a new house, this woman's dream has come true. She no longer lives in a cramped, stuffy house, but in a solid, spacious home.
Thanks to the local authorities for their support in helping my family build this house.
Party members and local residents have helped low-income households build and renovate homes for nearly a month. Thanks to their efforts, this house is nearly ready.
We also mobilized everyone with free time to help households in the evening.
Tuan's family lives in this old house. Thanks to the community's help, they'll move into their new home in a few days.
Party cell members contributed both money and labor to the construction.
In 2024, Bắc Giang eliminated over 1,000 dilapidated houses for poor households, thanks to the leadership of party members. Resource challenges for 2025 have been resolved, reflecting the people's heart and strength.
Now, according to the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs, natural disasters cause annual economic losses of 1 to 1.5% of Vietnam's GDP. Climate change threatens poverty reduction goals, impacting employment and income across sectors, particularly at mountainous areas.
Floodwaters from the dike quickly swept away a ton of grass carp and 2 tons of black apple snails and submerged this family's 300 grapefruit trees at harvest time. The 2 older adults, both over 60, were shocked. After the flood receded, they pruned and cleared up the fallen fruit. 2 months later, the grapefruit sprouted briefly before dying off again.
I hope that all levels of government, sectors, the party, and the state will support debt relief for families like ours or implement debt cancellation policies.
After the 2020 natural disaster, most of the transport network in this district's 4 communes was destroyed. Despite nearly $27.5 million invested in repairs, 50 kilometers of road remains impassable, hindering agriculture-related traffic.
Farmers face difficulties as traders refuse to buy, hampering poverty reduction in the commune.
In 2024, Bao Yen suffered a loss of $67 million due to storms, while its GDP for the year was only just over $12 million. One storm alone will take the district many years to rebuild. This woman's family lost everything in the landslide. All their land, pond, and barn were destroyed.
My health is not as good as it used to be, so I hope the bank can assist us with debt relief.
Because 300 houses completely collapsed, 50 to 70% of households were affected. The landslide damaged crops and people's property, impacting the local poverty reduction target.
Now, after 8 years of construction, the Yên Xá wastewater treatment plant began trial operation on December 2nd. The plant is expected to help revive the capital's Tô Lịch and Lưu rivers. The project's early operation is thanks to the determination of Hanoi city leaders. And during the 6-month trial operation period, the expected capacity of the Yên Xá wastewater treatment plant will reach 100,000 cubic meters 24 hours a day, thereby increasing the capital's wastewater treatment rate by 40%. Now, in 2025, when the project is fully operational at 270,000 cubic meters, the capital's wastewater treatment rate will have improved by 50% as planned. Currently, Hanoi is finalizing the restoring environmental quality and developing the system of 4 inner-city rivers, Tô Lịch, Kim Ngưu, Lư, and Set project. Based on the collection of wastewater discharge into Tô Lịch River, optimal operation of the Yên Xá wastewater treatment system, and the investment in renovating and upgrading the riverbanks, it is expected that next year, Tô Lịch River's environment and landscape will have changed for the better. The 10th Đà Lạt Flower Festival will be held from December 5th until the end of the year. Đà Lạt authorities have spent months preparing for this event by enhancing floral displays along major streets and upgrading several roads. Local gardeners and tourist sites have also planted new flower varieties to create stunning landscapes. With these comprehensive preparations, the Đà Lạt Flower Festival 2024 is expected to offer visitors a wide range of exciting experiences. Currently, numerous vehicles are arriving and departing to transport thousands of flower pots, replacing the old floral displays along the main streets. The Greenery Park team is busy planting new flowers and maintaining each garden area to ensure they remain fresh and vibrant.
Everyone on the team has worked hard, putting in extra hours to help create beautiful floral displays along the main streets of the city.
As the flower festival approaches, the team is excited and ready to work through the night to make the festival even more beautiful and successful.
Through proactive planning initiated early in the year, Đà Lạt Urban Services Company has cultivated 20 main flower varieties. The company has prepared 45,000 flower bags and pots for display in public parks and along Đà Lạt streets.
My regular work is not particularly demanding, but when the flower festival takes place every 2 years, the workload increases, and I often have to work on Saturdays and Sundays.
The Đà Lạt Flower Festival has become a trademark of Lâm Đồng province, earning recognition from both domestic and international visitors. This biannual event is eagerly anticipated by locals and tourists. The stunning floral displays serve as the festival's highlight, bringing vibrant colors to the Highland Flower City's cool winter weather. World-renowned travel guide Lonely Planet has named Alma Resort Cam Ranh in the coastal city of Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa province among 12 hotels that go all out for the Christmas festive season. The Vietnamese representative highly recommended as a wonderful Christmas getaway, ranks 6th on the overall list. The website wrote that Alma Resort, a 30-acre beachfront resort on Vietnam's south-central coast, has a festive spirit in full swing. Now, from a gingerbread house turned dessert shop to a life-size advent calendar that reveals little surprises each day, the resort hosts a holiday makers market where visitors can shop for locally crafted treasures. Christmas cards made by kids from a local orphanage can also be bought from the Kids Club, with all the proceeds going to support the orphanage. Coming up next in our world news, Syria faces rising tensions. And the latest U.S. strike on China's chips hits semiconductor tool makers. Now moving on to our world news, the situation in Syria is becoming tense as rebel forces launch a large-scale attack on November 27th, capturing important territories in the provinces of Idlib and Aleppo. The fighting has resulted in many civilian casualties and significant damage to civilian infrastructure. The Syrian army has launched a counter-offensive to retake these areas with the support of Russia. The government of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad also receives support from Iran. And Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian, who is visiting Damascus, stressed that Tehran will steadfastly support the Syrian government and army. Under a ceasefire agreement brokered by Turkey and Russia in 2020, the rebel-held Idlib region in northwestern Syria has maintained a relative peace. However, the surprise attack in Aleppo in late November has broken this agreement. The U.S. is set to impose its third round of major sanctions on China's semiconductor industry, targeting 140 companies with export restrictions. Now, this move represents one of the Biden administration's final large-scale efforts to cut off China's access to critical chips and for artificial intelligence and military use. The new sanctions will limit exports of high-bandwidth memory chips, essential for AI applications, as well as 24 additional chip-making tools and 3 software programs. China has consistently responded strongly to actions that threaten its semiconductor sector, vowing to defend the rights of domestic companies and also promote greater technological self-sufficiency. India is building the world's largest solar power plant in Khava, Gujarat, along the border with Pakistan. The project is expected to be a game changer for India's renewable energy sector, with 60 million solar panels and 770 wind turbines spread over 538 square kilometers, an area roughly the size of Mumbai. The Khavda plant aims to produce up to 11 gigawatts of electricity. It is expected to reach 30 gigawatts by 2029, surpassing the current record of China's 18-gigawatt three-gorge hydroelectric dam. The project is part of India's strategy to become carbon neutral by 2070. Now, as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.